It's a little bit of a mess here, but okay, this should work. How do I see comments again? Hi, Mary. Sorry I didn't do an announcement. It was last minute thought. Oh, I need to turn the volume down on my iPad. Can't remember how I keep the comments up. See if that'll work. I didn't pre-cut my materials, so you guys will have to bear with me. I'll cut it while I go along. I'll wait till more people join, then I'll tell you what I'm doing. Tell you what I'm doing. Did I seriously just put this on? No, I didn't. It's Kismet, Mary. I know I haven't done a live in a while, so I thought, well, I'm just testing this, so I might as well just do a live. People don't mind if I'm testing. This is a new bag I'm working on to make use of this cool new hardware that I got. I'll show you guys in just a minute. My neck is still really sore, so I took a pain/muscle relaxer the doctor gave me, so hopefully that'll calm it down. I had going through a good period and bad period with it. It'll calm down for a little while and then gets bad again. I really should have just cut everything ahead of time, but I haven't done the cutting instructions yet, so I figured I'd just wing it. Grayson's out walking the dog, procrastinating. He's supposed to be cleaning. It's hard for me to clean right now because of my neck. So as long as I don't move around too much, it's not too bad. Okay. If you guys are not on D-Stash groups, get on D-Stash groups. It's a great place to get material that you can use, like for the lining. I find some really good deals on there. On this, I don't remember how much I paid for this one, but sometimes I can get like the equivalent of $5 or $6 a yard on some of those D-Stash groups, which is cheaper than you can get, you know, Joann or Walmart, really. And it's better quality fabric. Okay, move this out of the way for right now. Okay, so nobody else has joined yet. Just you and I, Mary? I know there's 21. People just aren't talking. Okay, so let me show you guys what I got. Now, I'm not stepping out on my girl. Shh. You know, I generally only buy my vinyl from Amy and sometimes from New Moon, but this is, I've known about this group for a while, just really haven't bought anything, but this vinyl is really cool, and they, I had to have some. So it has the feel of the origami. So it's very similar to origami from My Punk. And yeah, you know, Amy tests everything, so she may have gotten this and rejected it because they will only use something that goes through the rigorous testing. But if I'm only using it like for bag making, then I'm not as worried about that. But the colors are very subtly different. I don't know if you can tell that. And then I got this zipper tape, which is, I'll pull it out here in a minute. And I got a whole bunch of zipper pulls. So I had to make a bag to take advantage of this. So the zipper tape is number 5. So hopefully the bag is going to work. Most of my bags will work with number 5, but this one is really cool. This is from Wizardry, something Wizardry on Facebook, Geeky Hardware. Oh, look how cool that is. So I'm going to use that for the bag. And then this one's very similar to the one that I got from Hemostats, but it's number 5. And the rainbow is more solid. It's not as subtle as what we get from Hemostats. the paint is there. It's much more solid. So, but it's the poles that are going to get you. Unlike now, I have so much zipper tape that I have not enough room in my drawer for it. So let me cut off my zipper right quick and put this away. And I hope my machine can cut across this because I just realized this is resin. I thought it was nylon, but it's not. It's resin. We're going to try. Okay, we're down to 20 people. Say hello, everybody. Let me know you're here. After this, I'm going to count the bags and figure out who the winner was for the contest. Get the $25 cork and cloth coupon. Okay, so let me just dump all these out. I ordered a whole bunch of different ones, so I have duplicates in here. Lots of duplicate. The prices were pretty reasonable on it. Okay. So I don't have the invoice with me, but this one is the little Dole Whip. This is the silver. And then this is the rainbow. I mostly got rainbow. Hi, Dennis. And then this is the bounce ball after Pixel. And this is actually what we're making today. This one, though, and this is the only one I got in rose gold. This one, though, is the coolest. Let me pull this one out of the bag and give you a close-up to it. It's really, really cool. They did a great job designing this one. Look how cool that one is. I delayed on my screen here, so I can't tell if you guys can see it or not. Can you see that? It's so cool. I'm not using this one though. So this bag is not going to come in all my normal sizes because it's not going to work in all those different sizes. So I think I ended up doing 4 sizes. All right. So, and if you're just joining, I was saying I didn't prepare my material ahead of time. And I just now realized this zipper is a resin zipper, so I hope I'm going to be able to stitch over it. I didn't realize it was resin. But I had to come up with an idea. And you guys know I don't like to do copyright stuff too much, so I had to come up with an idea to use these zipper pulls. Alright, so I'm going to make sure that I have a 90 needle in there too, just to give me some extra effort to get over this resin zipper. So Grayson took my zipper off. Oh, see, I'm going to have to redo it because now it's off kilter. So try this again. So the trick is if you pull up, if you have a piece of zipper tape, is to get the piece that has the tallest side. Start with that. That is a trick. And I did just do a video that I will upload in, after this. A quick video to show you guys how to do this split. Where'd I go? The split zipper. That, I did a video and I'll upload that when we're done here. Joy, these are from Geeky Hardware. The website is Wizardry something or another. I'll put a link in it after we're done here. But I need to make sure I get this in here the same distance, else it's going to be crooked. So, but the website is Geeky Hardware. And she had a retail for these. I don't know if there's still any left or not. Ah, I just got my finger stuck in it. But they're really cool. So they look like a bouncy ball. We might have a funky zipper here because I don't know if I can get it to line up right. There's a girl that I follow in the sewing groups. She's so good, Nikki, and she did a video to show how to do this, and she made it look so easy. It's like, it's not that easy. All right, try this again. Nope, it's still off kilter. You know what? I'm just going to leave it that way. It doesn't affect the zipping. Plus, we'll be here all day. So we're just going to leave it off kilter. It'll look cool. Yes, Melinda. Fantastic idea. The person who thought of that was brilliant. Oh, Melissa. Oh, it is nylon? Melissa, I think Melissa is from the Kiki hardware page. It feels like resin to me. Okay, cool. Should be easy. All right, so we got our zipper ready. And I'm going to leave it off kilter just for the sake of time. So now, remember, my zipper placement lines are 1 inch. So this is number 5 zipper tape, so it's a little bit wider than that. So you want to line up the center, look for your center of your zipper teeth with that center placement line. I'm kind of excited about this. It's totally going to be, I hope it's going to have the right feel for it. The look and feel. So I'm going to tape it down here to start. And hopefully you guys can keep mine centered. And then I just, this one's really kind of hard to see. So I might have to pull it up here. So, but try and center it on that line as well as you can, since it's wider than your placement line. Now, you cannot guarantee that all in the hoop designs will work with a number 5 zipper. All of mine since this year on will for sure. Most of mine before this would too. But I've purposely made it. I kind of like that they're a little bit off kilter. It's a little bit more funky looking. So I'm just going to keep working down here, and I'm lining up that center of the zipper teeth with that center placement line, and then putting a little piece of tape here. And this zipper was kind of rolled up. It could have benefited from being pressed with an iron, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to do this now. And then that's a big, big ball there. So we want to take this out of the way so it does not come loose. And I'm going to be very careful because I actually cut this really short. I should have cut it a little bit longer. So just tape him down here because we don't want that big old ball to come loose. Now this side is taped, so we'll go ahead and add some tape to the other side. And I know people are going to be asking what bag this is. This is Bounce Ball, but it's not been released yet. So this is my first test. So I don't even know if it's going to work, but I know Mary's been wanting a live. So I said I'd just do my test as a live. This is a little bit different style than I've done before with the applique. Okay. So go ahead and put that back on there. So there we go. We have it all lined up. I think it looks even right here. It's a little curved, but we're just going to go with it. Now we're going to tack it down, and then we'll remove the tape. Isn't it so cool? She has some amazing stuff. But those little cutouts with the Disney, that one just threw me. I was like, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. I wouldn't even thought of making something like that. And they're very weighty, so they're very high quality. Yeah, my zipper's a little curvy. It's a little curved. That's okay. And I think again, this is more where I should have pressed the tape with the iron. All right. Hopefully, I think we have a good angle here. I can see at least on the iPad. That's a bad thing about doing the YouTube videos is I cannot see, and so I have to reposition it. Wow, I really got that off kilter. That's okay. I'm sticking with it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put our lining on the back. So remember, we want to line our lining up with the, so always think about the top and bottom of the hoop or the zipper as it's in the bag. So we're going to line it up with the bottom of the zipper. I don't know which side I did cut. This way. This is what happens when you just randomly cut it. Okay. And then tape that down. And you can put a piece here in the middle too if you're using a long bag. Yeah, the fork is much easier, but the child took the fork away and I don't know where he put it. Okay, so now we're gonna do the first part of building our base. So instead of having, you can have it all the way on the bottom, but to conserve the expensive vinyl, the blue is only going to go from here. So I'm only going to use that piece. So we're going to go ahead and tack it down here. And you'll see in a second here. So let me go ahead and, I didn't cut anything in advance, so. And this is the, oh, I should use the blue. Oh, will that look okay? Oh, hold on. Maybe I should use this blue. Why didn't I think of that? Will that look okay with the red and the yellow? It's a different material. I don't think so. I think I'm going to stick with the one I already have. But I definitely have to find a cute bag to make for this one. Okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and trim this here. Right, so we're going to go ahead and fold this over here and tape it down. Isn't a zipper so cool? Oh. And she did a pre-order for some other ones I just spent a fortune on. Okay, again, this is a test, guys, so it may not work the way I expect it to work in my head. So we're just tacking down the blue right here. We're not doing any top stitching on this bag because it will not look right. And then we're going to fold the blue down. We're going to leave the red alone for right now, the lining. And it's going to keep getting tacked down as we go along. And we're going to fold this over here and finger press it. And then just tape it down. And I'm going to leave red because it should get covered over when we're all done. So I know it looks a little awkward right now. So just pull it tight. This is at least what my vision is. So you see how we only have this small section right here. And then we're going to run the tack down. Grayson took the duckbill scissors. Okay, now it's going to position for our next fabric. So we need to trim out this fabric here first. Oh, let's see if I can do it with this. This child is being raised by an embroiderer and sewist. You'd think he would know better than take mommy's scissors off the table. And then it's folded up right here, so go ahead and reach underneath and trim that out. Now we saved all that vinyl we can use for something else. If you're using cotton, then you probably could just lay one piece down there. I might go ahead and regroup and do that. Okay. I'll have to think about it. I might regroup and just make the first one be the faux panel. Okay, now we need yellow that's going to fit over our applique area here. So let me cut this off. Okay, so we're still leaving our red up here. We're gonna turn over this yellow, just like this, just as if we were doing the blue. Grayson, you took my duckbill scissors. I'm doing a live over there. The silver ones, you know, at the bend.
Oh, and can I rest my foot for a couple minutes?
I guess.
I'm actually hurt them.
Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and run the tack down for the yellow. Did I answer you, Rachel? We're making a bounce ball bag. This is my first test run on it, so it's a little bit different construction than I usually do. I'm just trying this. So by leaving about a 1/2 inch trimming here, then when we lay the yellow down, we're basically sewing a panel of fabric together. And it's just a way to try and reduce wasting so much of the vinyl. I'm sorry, it's not just reducing the waste of the vinyl. That was one reason. We're trying to reduce the amount of vinyl in the seam, because if we have 3 panels of vinyl here, it's going to be really thick and it'll be hard for your bag to lay neatly on the sides. So again, I'm just going to finger press this. I don't know what I did with my boning tool. And tape that down. And then we're going to run the tack down. So this is going to outline our star, and then it's going to come back around and swoop over for the other part of the blue. Hi, Tori. How's your elbow doing? Now I didn't get my zipper lined up really well, and I could have pulled this down a little bit more, but see how close it's getting to that zipper teeth. So that's one thing you have to watch out for since we're using a number 5 zipper. It takes up much more space in the bag. So now we're going to go ahead and cut away this very close to the curve on this side, because we have our blue overlapped underneath. So the satin stitch is going to come here, and then we want to cut out over here on the yellow. So come in from this side, because remember we cut away that blue on top. But on the bottom we're going to come in really close to the to the tack down. And remember, on this fibrosy backing material, vinyl, try and keep your scissors as perpendicular as you can. Don't bevel them like you would do on cloth, because that little fibers of that flannel backing will hang out underneath, and it'll split when the needle is doing the satin and make your satin stitching look messy. So I have it like not quite perpendicular, but about 80 degrees. When you leave the extra material a little bit longer, it makes it easier to trim this away. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and also cut out by the star. Because again, our goal is to reduce how much of this vinyl we have in the seams. So I'm going to start from over here. And then leave about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. You just need a little bit of overhang so when the satin stitch comes in, it's going to sew those pieces of material together. And then the last one is the red. All right. See, now we're reducing how much is in our seam. So we only have a couple areas where there's a lot of vinyl. So our final bag will be much nicer. Oops, see, I didn't do very good. When I got closer over here, see that? That's not okay. The needle will split that and look messy when you do the satin stitch. So I'm going to come in here and try and clean it up a little bit more. If you wonder why that happens, this is why. It's just the nature of the way this vinyl is manufactured. The vinyl is glued to some type of base, either a woven base or, in this case, some kind of felt-like base. That's much better. So if you see messy satin stitching on your bag, don't automatically assume it's the digitizer. It's possible that you're running into this issue with the material splaying out from it. And then we need a little bit of red. And I'm going to use some generic blue for the back because I have a whole bunch of marine vinyl I need to use up. So, okay, go ahead and lay this down. And then we're going to do this last one. Oops, I have it backwards. We got to lay it this way first. Oh, I'm glad I caught that. Oh, how did I come untied? Oh, it came undone. Okay, some days. It worked the first time. All right, try this again. And I'm not going to tape this one down because it's so small. I think it'll be, well, you know, down there it's going to mess up if I don't tape it. I don't want to, remember, we don't want to put our hands in there anywhere. Hey Pam, how are you? You see how I'm doing it? I'm like building the panel together. I don't know if it's going to work, so we're going to find out. I have the Janome 500E, Cindy. Okay. So again, remember, we're not doing any top stitching on this bag because it will take away from the look of the project. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fold that one down. And I can tell right now that I might need to readjust that line because it looks like it's not as far up as the yellow is. All right, and now we're going to do our tack down. And then we'll trim around this tack down. right here. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. We'll see when we're all done. All right. So now we want to get as close to this line as we can. I know it's hard to see since I did red. But we're coming off at the side and leaving the vinyl at the top. So now we've basically just sewn these 3 pieces of vinyl together to form one sheet. But we did it in the hoop. But I'm a little bit ambiguous about the top there. I don't know if this is going to work. So I try not to, I don't want any satin stitching going into my zipper. There will be a little bit going into the zipper on here, but it's not going the length of the zipper because I feel like that takes away the integrity of the zipper because the tape is not meant to have all those puncture holes coming in it from a satin stitch. So it's not that strong, and it's not like it's a woven tape. Some of it is woven. I got some from Walla Hardware. The white is woven, but most of it's not. It's some kind of, I don't even know what you call it, but it's nylon or polyester. I don't know what you describe the way that tape is made on zippers. But it's not woven, and you start cutting, putting all those holes in it, it's going to take away the integrity of the zipper. Okay, so, I know, so it might be okay. You know how that is. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do the satin stitching. I want to add a little bit of extra stabilizer behind it, though. Get this big roll of cutaway that I have bought. What? I don't know what I was thinking of getting this huge roll. So, just want a little bit here to help support the satin stitching. So good. I'm just going to float it underneath. So we don't want to put our lining down yet because we need to do our satin stitching. Just going to float it underneath. I'm going to take this tape off so it doesn't get stuck in there. I just undid my silly thing here. Sorry, I can't go as fast because my neck is so sore. I don't understand it. Last night it was fine. And today it's stiff again. Okay. I don't want to leave that long tail in there so it'll look messy when we're done. Hi, Rose. Yeah, Cindy, I do that. I've done that sometimes, but it doesn't always work. Remember, this is my first time stitching through this, guys, if you've just joined, so there might be some bugs in it. I think it's looking okay so far. I didn't pull the red down far enough, so it's kind of a little bit of a bubble there. I see a few other areas where I didn't get the yellow very good. Okay, so it kind of like up here, it's just a little bit because of that double thickness there. I didn't like that, so we'll have to make sure we adjust that down a little bit. All right, what do we next? First, I want to trim this yellow a little bit better. And if you cut a little bit into the stitching, it's not the end of the world because I make it a beam stitch. So if you cut like the top layer of thread, there's still another layer underneath. Okay. So now we're going to do the blue. Yeah, I'll show you, Cindy. I'll do it that way. So Cindy was telling me, but it doesn't always work that way either. So it's like sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. The thread on this thing is the thing that people complain about the most. So watch, I'll get it ready. Okay, I hit lock. Wait, what am I doing? Oh, I guess it already likes the position it's in. It didn't move it. For those of you who normally it'll move the hoop to a different position. See? Didn't do it. Even though it's got the okay on there, that time it worked. So it's like hit or miss. All right. So this is actually the way that Disorderly Threads does that high top shoe bag. But she puts the whole panel down, but then she floats this down, and so that's why you have to be careful and pull this really taut, and I didn't. So the red didn't get caught very well. I think I'm going to widen the satin as well. These are the kind of things I think about when I'm testing a design. Sometimes when I have like somebody else do all the testing and I don't get any testing in myself, I miss small things like this because the testers are so used to doing bags they may not miss something that I will pick up on. Sometimes I pick up on stuff I miss, but just small little things like that that I look at. The zipper is so cool. It's like clear, but the colors are under it. Oh, just love it. The zipper pulls are fabulous. So if you get into number 5 zipper tape, make sure you buy these zipper pulls because I think she's ordered more if they're sold out. If you join the group, you'll get the update on everything. But they're very nice quality zipper pulls. See here at the top there, it's going through that extra piece of material. So I think if I make it a little bit thicker, see how it did the same thing here. It didn't quite wide enough. That material is making it tighten up. So I think if I make it a little wider, that'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the extra of this. And then fold the lining down. And I'm just going to do 1 D-ring. And I'm trying to get as much of this out as I can because this is stiff. And I didn't use poly mesh, you know, for a reason. I wanted my bag to stay. So I'll try to take as much of this out as I can. Yeah, I can do YouTube Live now, but unless I can't figure out how, it doesn't save your chat. So when you guys ask questions, it doesn't save it. And I'm like, well, that's stupid. It like saves it for like only 30 minutes. So I work all that hard time to get to be able to do YouTube lives, and they kind of suck. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fold our lining down now, and I cut this too long. I'm going to have to trim it off my bracket here so it doesn't impede on the bracket. And finger press that. Now, if you need to roll your fabric up, mine is just too long, I cut it too long. But if you need to get it out of the way of your hoop attachment, just gently fold it, like roll it up, and then tape it down so it's flat. That works all the time for me, even on this flat bed machine here. And then just tape it. I haven't had a single issue with doing it that way when it's in the way. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and run the placement for our D-ring strap connector. Which I don't have prepared. Where's my pen at? I had a pen here. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to prepare the D-ring strap connector. All right. So we want it 3/4 inch because that's what our ring is, our D-ring strap connector. And I'm only doing one. So I'm actually going to skip forward to the other side. I'm going to put it on the left-hand side. If you can do that on your machine, then do that so you don't waste all that stitching. I just wanted to do it to show you the picture of it. All right. So I'm going to trim out the these little tails too. So we have the 4. You can either do both on each side, the top 2, or just one of them, depending on how you want to put your straps. So remember, you need to make sure you have enough room for your presser foot to get past the D-ring strap connector, the hardware. So I usually can do like about a 1/2 inch, but your machine may be closer. I'm going to use this piece. And I usually like to use the wider tape when I'm doing this. Now remember, on my machine, it likes to do all that wonky going back and forth stuff when it's pulling the tail. So I need to make sure that I lift it up the presser foot that extra bit in the back when I'm done. As soon as I hear the threader stop, then I can lift it extra so it does not get stuck. And I'm using the transfer tape from 3M. This is medical tape. And remember, whatever tape you use, don't leave it on long, because a lot of the masking tapes will affect the pull off the paint on some of the vinyls, or it may get gooey. Okay, so now we're ready to put our back on. And the same thing, we have to trim this off because I just randomly cut it, so it's too long. So I have some people testing. Somebody asked me for one a few weeks ago, and I totally lost sight of it. And I was looking at my files last night, and I found it. A bag for putting your mask in. So I'm making one that says dirty and one that says clean. Just simple bags, but that way you can keep it in your car. Pile up your clean ones in one bag and then the dirty ones in the other bag. And I recommend you make these out of cloth, so you can just throw it right in the washing machine when you get home, when it fills up. All right, so we're gonna lay that. Now put another piece down here if you need to, but I don't need to do that. Mine will hold it over. And we're gonna go use this regular marine vinyl for the back, just to be a little bit less spendy. This is the stuff that you get from marinevinylfabric.com. If you guys shopped from there before, their prices are really cheap. And you get like a big thing of, like if you buy a yard, it comes in a big roll. But I don't know if you can tell from looking at it, it's a lot thinner than the marine vinyl that you get from Joann or from My Punk Embroidery. So it's cheaper, but it's also thinner, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because I don't actually recommend using thick marine vinyl for these bags because it's harder to turn. But this stuff usually is okay. We're going to find out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this right side down and tape it down. And you know I'll have cutting information for you in the file once we get this. I probably won't get this done until next weekend. All right. Now we're going to do our top. So we're going to run our first stitch. I'm not going to top stitch the exterior on this one. I don't know, everybody's quiet. I'm going to raise the lining up so it gets top stitched through, and it helps hold it out of the way. Grayson, is your dog barking? So go ahead and raise that out of the way, and then finger press the seam. Remember, you do that gently, because if you do it too hard, then you might unhoop your project. And I like to just hold on to it like this as I flip it over. So I'm not top stitching. I'm just going to do my second stitch through the exterior and the lining. Oh, thank you, Beverly. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so now it's going to prepare itself to do the tack the exterior panels together, but we need to move our zipper first. So go ahead and open this up. And now this is the $1,000,000 question. Did I get it too close? Oh, no, it's perfect. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and just leave this taped in here. so it doesn't jangle around. And then just go ahead and I cut this a little bit big, so it might be hard to pull it tautly. But you want to try and get that as tight as you can, so there's no puckers in it. I've lost my spot on my tape. Oh, you guys, this is crazy. So, you know, some of you are on my regular friends list too. So my son, he'll be 9 in a month, 6 weeks, something like that. And he's been venturing out a little bit farther away from home. And I let him, so he can ride his bike down to the corner and then across the street through the neighbor's yard to the alley and then back. So I can see him most of the way on my Ring camera that I installed on the front of the house for that very purpose. But he has now made friends with the guys who, there's an oil change place right on the corner, and I'd have to show you guys on the map how close it is. This isn't going to work. I need to trim this. But I was like, you know, I want to trust him. I trust him, but, you know, I still have that little instinct of, you know, people are going to be like, somebody comes along or grabs him or something. So I still worry a little bit. So I got him, I can't remember, some kind of TikTok on Amazon. Don't waste your money. It was horrible. It was terrible. We charged it up and I couldn't even, like, it went into like hidden mode when it was like still had 40% of the battery left, and I couldn't even see him on the GPS. So I said, forget this. This is going back. And yes, I did order my son an Apple Watch yesterday. Cannot believe my 9-year-old is going to have an Apple Watch. But safety, you know, I want him to be able to call me if he falls and hurts himself. So he fell and hurt himself. I'm sorry, he's not here. Oh, how can I tell you guys? I'm going to, where's my purple thing? I want to try and kind of help hold this down while it's stitching out that part, because it's still a little puffy. Okay, so he fell on his bike and got the world's tiniest stitch, or scratch. So he goes over to the oil change place that he's made friends with these guys now. And tells them that he's bleeding. And he comes home and he tells me they took care of him, and I came out here and looked on the table and he took the bandage off. They had him all wrapped up like he had like a huge gush in his leg. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, kid. Okay, so we're all ready to do. You see how this zipper pull, because it's a number 5, it's bigger, so it pushes up in the bag more. So because of that, I always start the stitching up here. If we started down here, what would happen is this presser foot's going to go like this, and you're going to risk getting a pleat up there, and there's nothing you can do about this. You can pull and pull, but it's still, sometimes it's not. So if we start up here and then we come down here, if we do get a little bit of a pleat, it's in the bottom of the bag and not as obvious when the bag's turned inside out. So that's why I do it that way. So we're on to our last step, and I forgot to put the stopping step on this file. So I'm going to have to remember and stop it manually. So before we do that, we want to cut out our stabilizer from behind our zipper. So I don't know where my good seam ripper is. So what I do is I get the seam ripper and I get it underneath so that I can see the metal of the seam ripper underneath the stabilizer, and then just slide it down. This one's not as good. I need a new one. And then do the same thing on the other side. On the other side though, I have to like hold this to give it some tension, and then slide it down. Just hold on to it. And again, this one's not as good because the seam ripper's not as good. And then just reach in here with your fingers and hold it while you slice it. And this way you can make sure that you're not going to cut your zipper. As long as you can see your blade underneath that stabilizer, you're not going to cut your zipper. And then I just use scissors to cut the ends carefully. And I think I did accidentally cut it into that zipper. Shoot, did I? Oh. I did a tiny bit, I think. We'll find out in a minute. Okay, go ahead and roll this down. And remember, tape this as tautly in place as you can. We're almost done. And we'll see if this worked or not. Sure, you're going to have to pull tautly on the applique pieces. Okay, so sometimes you might want to keep an eye out and make sure. I haven't had it happen, but I've had other people say it. You might want to put a piece of tape in here to make sure these don't spread apart. But usually with the vinyl on top, I've not had that happen. So it's going to go ahead and do the left side, and then it's going to go over to the right at the bottom and run a couple of carry stitches, traveling stitches to help get it over to the other side of the hoop. Because if we tried to let it stop here, it's going to go up here and get stuck on the hardware. So we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to like try and guide this a little bit. It's going to be like puffy. And I should have did a better job pulling that vinyl down. Call it taping it down. But it's hard with that hardware in there. See how it goes back to the middle? And on some machines, you might have hardware in there that it would get stuck on. So that's why I always put that extra step in there to stop it. So before we unhoop, remember we want to turn it around to the back and make sure everything looks good, because if it doesn't, we can always go back and fix it and redo that step. So everything looks good, so we're going to go ahead and trim this guy out and turn it, and let's see if we got a cute bag or not. So these are the Kai 7000 series, 7205. I'm switching to those now because they are amazing. And in the interest of time, I'm not going to save off my extra stabilizer like I normally do because my neck is starting to bother me. I just slept wrong on my neck last week, and I woke up Sunday and it was really, really stiff. Well, I was like, okay, well, let me just do a couple of gentle exercises. And I did what I thought was gentle exercises, and my whole neck spasmed. So I got to do my first medical televisit with my doctor. I'm telling you, I don't think I ever want to go in the office again. So when we have the opening here, we're going to go ahead and leave a little bit of a notch. Just makes it easier to fold in the material at the end. And then I go over and flip it over on the other side to trim it out. But in this case, my tension was a little off. I can see section. But normally you're going to see the white thread, and it's harder to see from the back. So that's why I usually will trim it from the front. Okay, I'm going to swoop it off this extra stable. Huh? Facebook.
Someone said hi.
Grayson says hi, everybody.
Did you already tell them to wait?
It's Facebook. There's no like and subscribe on Facebook.
I know. What?
Okay, so we have a tiny little bit of curve here. So we're going to go ahead and trim off the corner carefully and trim this way.
I'll be back. I have to go say hi.
See that? And that's going to help us get a nicer turn at that little corner. And reduce the bulk there. I try not to reduce it too much because I don't want to cut into the material and put a risk factor. We don't need the rest of our bag to be longer here, just the tab. So we can go ahead and fold this down and trim off the vinyl at that 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch. Vinyl you can go down to 1/8 inch because it's not fraying. Okay, let me throw this away out of our way. Mary said hi, Grayson. Okay. Alright, I'm going to use these rounded hemostats to reach in, and I just kind of pinch the material in between them and lock them together, and then it pulls it out. No, I don't know where shirt's at. I'm over here doing laundry and I can't find a single bit of his clothes. No idea where this kid is throwing his clothes. Oh, his friend across the street is out, guys, so he's gonna go over there and try and make friends. Alright, I'm having trouble getting it. We're just gonna do it this way. Sometimes I have trouble getting it out. Oh, you can go ahead and trim this corner here too, just don't trim the zipper tape. So I fold back the vinyl and trim it. And that just helps reduce the bulk when you go to do the zipper, trim it out. Actually, I'm going to trim a little bit more of this off. Just don't cut your zipper. I don't know how I had that so high. Usually you shouldn't have a big piece like that, but I must have laid it on there too high. Okay. So I usually work one corner at a time and gently, well, this bag is wanting to twist this way, so I guess you just do whatever the bag is telling you. I usually work one corner at a time and get one corner out, and I find if you do that, the rest of it will usually come along for the ride and come out easier. And this marine vinyl is a little bit stiffer than the stuff on the front, but it's okay. So just keep working it. If you do accidentally tear your stitches, don't worry about it because you can always fix it with some glue or some stitches, hand stitching it. So I try to get as much as I can turned out while it's lining side out. And then go ahead and reach in here and remove that tape holding down your zipper pull. Get most of it, and then go ahead and finish opening up your zipper pull, your zipper. I didn't get all the tape off, but. And then turn it. I always wait and close mine in the end in case I mess up. So yeah, I have to turn it right lining side out again, but I like to do that because you don't always know you made a mistake until you turn it right side out, and sometimes the stitches pull when you're turning it, and then you can go back up to your sewing machine and fix it, or I always say go back up because mine's upstairs, but you can go to your sewing machine and fix it if you need to. And this is a time when using a blow dryer would help because this vinyl, the marine vinyl, is a little bit stiffer to pull than my Stardust. Stardust is what we have on the front. Okay, and you know when you get down here at the corner, pop your turning device up in here and pop that corner up. Put your thumb here and just pop it up. Yeah, this has got stuck on something in here. I think I got it stuck on, because this is a number 5, so I don't think I left enough room in there when I laid it down. There we go. And then also when you leave the hole open yet, you can get your hemostats underneath in the hole to reach up and pop this out. I have thread stuck in here. I missed a thread. See what I mean? I always trim those as you're going along. I missed one and it was causing me havoc there. So then again over here in this corner, you want to push the vinyl down with your pointing device. Push on it and then pull your zipper tape up while you're pushing this down. And it'll go out of your way and push into there. You're basically compressing it. And then pull your zipper tape out. Okay, and there's a slight curve at the bottom of this, so you might have to use your fingers to roll it like this, and then use some clips to hold it in place. But I usually find if you take the rounded edge of your turning device or your hemostats and kind of rub it along in there, it'll help your curve. It's just a slight curve. But see, if you do that, it helps bring that vinyl and open that seam up enough so that it's better. Okay. It's definitely very tight because I didn't pull my vinyl down enough. I mean my lining. Because remember I showed you I didn't have the zipper lined up really well the first time, and that's the price I'm paying. I should have taken the time to redo it then, made sure it was even, and it would be closing better now. Okay. All right. Got one little faux pas on it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Cute or no? Do you get that it's a bouncy ball from that? We're doing the non-copyright copyright Pixar Studios. This is my homage to their bouncy ball. So I think I have 4 sizes in this, but you can see how the zipper reveal is not even here. I should have did a better job. So it's too close up here, so it makes it harder to zip it and unzip it. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, some of you guys are new here. The one thing when you see how even though we did the top stitching that helps pull this down, you see how this lining still kind of wants to come up? What you can do is get some double stick tape and put that on the back of before you turn it, put it on the back of the top of the bag. After you turn it, reach up underneath the hole, pull the tape out, the cover, and then so it doesn't come up as much. It doesn't bother me because once we do the top stitch, and remember I don't have it closed down here yet, so there's a little bit more bagginess there because it's not closed, but usually it's not a problem. But yeah, this stitched over this with no problem. So the one thing you guys will have to know then is I messed up right here. I didn't pull this red down enough. You got to pull it really tautly. So I have a tiny little bit of boo-boo there. But otherwise it's a cute bag, I think. What do you think? Thumbs up? So I will get this off to the testers, and hopefully maybe next weekend we can get this. They're working on another bag right now. I think you guys will like. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. Have a good rest of Sunday for y'all. I'm going to go see what my son is doing. I think he's got a 11-year-old girlfriend across the street. Well, no, I think she just turned 12. And he doesn't get that she doesn't always want to play with him because she's 12. Oh, this is the 5x7 size. I don't think I told you guys that. So 7 inches by 5. All right, everybody. Have a good day.